Hello, friends. Today is a special day. Grandpa and I are cooking a real barbecue on an open fire. Not on gas, not on an electric grill, but on live coals, where the fire breathes, crackles, and creates the very aroma that cannot be repeated in the kitchen. We have prepared everything we need since the morning. Grandpa, as always, is in charge of the fire. He carefully stacks the firewood, lights the fire, and waits patiently until the right coals appear. Not a flame, but a steady, calm heat. He says, the main thing about barbecue is not to rush. And it makes sense. While the coals reach the desired temperature, we are engaged in meat. Pork ribs are marinated with salt, black pepper, paprika, garlic, and a little honey for a caramel crust. I carefully place them on the grill, and at that moment there is a loud hiss. The smoke rises up, the fragrance fills the whole yard. That's it, the real taste of nature. There are fresh mushrooms on skewers nearby. We added a little oil, a pinch of salt, and a little spice. The mushrooms begin to brown, the juice boils inside, and an appetizing golden crust appears on the outside. Grandpa shows you how to turn it over correctly so that nothing gets burnt and the maximum flavor is preserved. Sometimes the fire flares up more, and then we gently push the ribs aside. Barbecue is not just about frying. It's about heat control, patience, and attention to detail. Slowly, gradually, the meat becomes covered with a beautiful crust. The fat melts and impregnates each piece. When everything is ready, we remove the ribs from the heat. They are juicy, soft, and fragrant. Mushrooms are delicate and rich in smoky flavor. We sit down at a table right outside, enjoying the result. It's not just cooking. It's time together, conversations, laughter, and traditions. An open fire unites, creates an atmosphere, and makes every piece special. The coals are already ready. They are covered with a light gray coating, and inside they keep a powerful, steady heat. Grandpa always says, a real barbecue begins when the flame disappears and only the right fire remains. And I understand that this is the most important moment. We carefully place the pork ribs on the grill, not directly into the fire, but slightly to the side, so that the meat does not burn, but slowly languishes. Immediately, a quiet hiss is heard. The fat begins to melt and drip onto the coals. Thick, fragrant smoke rises into the air, which cannot be repeated at home in a frying pan. I take a brush and grease the ribs with sauce. It contains paprika, garlic, a little honey, and black pepper. The sauce spreads evenly and gradually begins to caramelize. The crust darkens, becomes shiny and appetizing. Grandpa keeps a close eye on the heat, sometimes moving the grill so that the heat is evenly distributed. There are already skewers with mushrooms nearby. We lightly sprinkled them with oil and added a pinch of salt. Mushrooms begin to change color, become softer, and release juice. I carefully flip them over, trying not to drop them. Grandpa nods, which means I'm doing everything right. The fire is alive, it requires attention. Sometimes a flame breaks out, and then we react quickly. We put the meat aside to preserve juiciness. Barbecue is not a rush, it's a process. And the more calmly you work with fire, the tastier the result will be. As time passes, the fragrance becomes even more intense. The ribs are gradually covered with a dense caramel crust. When Grandpa lifts one edge, you can see how the meat begins to move away from the bones. This is the main sign of readiness. We lubricate them with the sauce again, but with a thin layer to add depth to the taste. The fat inside melts slowly, soaking each piece. The surface sizzles, the juice inside remains sealed. I'm starting to realize that barbecue is the art of temperature control. The mushrooms are already fully cooked. They have become soft, with a golden surface and a light smoky aroma. We remove them from the heat and cover them to keep them warm. Grandpa tells stories from his childhood, how he learned to cook over a campfire, how the whole family gathered. And I understand that it's not just cooking that's going on right now. Experience, tradition, and respect for simple things are passed on. The evening is getting quieter. You can only hear the crackling of coals and a light wind. The meat is almost ready, just a little more patience. The final moment is coming. We remove the ribs from the grate and put them on a wooden board. Grandpa says, don't rush to cut. Let the meat rest. This is important. The juices are distributed inside, and the ribs become even softer. After a few minutes, we cut them. The knife goes through easily. The meat is juicy, tender, with a beautiful smoky tint. The crust crunches, but inside there remains a rich aroma of spices and fire. We put mushrooms next to each other, add some fresh vegetables. It's simple, no frills. We sit down at a table right outside. The first piece, and you realize that everything was done correctly. The juicy taste, the light sweetness of the sauce, and the very aroma of an open fire. Grandpa is smiling, and I feel proud. Such evenings are remembered forever. It's not just a barbecue. It's a generational connection, conversations around the campfire, and moments that become history. If you are close to such an atmosphere of a living fire and a real family, stay with us. There is even more taste, warmth, and heartfelt stories ahead. Friends, this is how our evening turned out by an open fire. Son and grandfather, live coals, juicy ribs, fragrant mushrooms, and simple heart-to-heart conversations. No rush, just the warmth of the fire, patience, and real taste. Outdoor barbecue is not just about eating. These are the moments that remain in the memory. These are traditions that are passed down from the elders to the younger ones. And it is for the sake of such simple but warm evenings that we gather together. If you like this atmosphere of live fire and family comfort, be sure to like the video. Write in the comments, do you cook barbecue with your family? And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss new delicious stories. There is still more fire, meat, and emotional moments ahead. Thank you for being with us. See you soon.